This is how you make a boxed zippered pencil case. We take 2 pieces of fabric, cut out with the pattern, and we attach our zip here. So 2 pieces of fabric and a zip. We're going to attach our zip to the front, the good side of the fabric, right along the very top edge here. So I take my zip and I get some pegs. I'm going to peg this onto here. I've undone my zip slightly so that I can show you how you sew past a zip, because your machine foot will not be able to sew past this big lump of zipper here. So I've attached my zip to the front of my fabric, and you'll notice here, see what way the zipper is round? This is the front of the zipper, or the side of the top of the zipper, and this is my good side of my fabric. Okay, so I'm going to place my zipper and fabric under my machine now. I'm going to sew forwards a wee bit, and I'm going to reverse right back to the start to make sure that my zip is nicely attached, and I'm going to sew all the way along this top edge. Now as I get close to my zipper here, I'm going to stop, wind my needle down into the fabric, lift my presser foot, and I'm going to slide this zipper foot, the zipper back, close this up. So now my zip is back here, unzipped fully, and I'm going to continue sewing the rest of the zip on here. Taking out my pegs as I come close to them, and making sure I reverse when I get to the end. Okay. So now my zip is attached to one side of my piece of fabric. I'm now going to top stitch, so this is the stitching that is visible, down the side here. Now this reinforces the zip, so it makes sure that it stays nice and strong, and it makes sure that it sits nice and flat. So I'm going to put a couple of pegs here just to keep the fabric sitting nice and flat and in a really straight line, the edge here. And I'm going to sew straight down here, really nice and close to the edge. Don't forget to back stitch at the start. Now again, as I get close to the end, I can't sew past this zip here. So I need to pause, make sure my needle is right down, lift the presser foot and slide that zip back. And then continue sewing on without that zip in the way. And when I'm at the end, we reverse. Right. Now I have top stitched all down beside my zip here, and I've attached my zip to one side of the bag. Now we need to attach the zip to the other side of the pencil case. So I'm going to take my other piece of pencil case fabric and I'm going to attach it good side facing in. So this is the good side of the fabric. Again, this is the top of the zip. And attach it to this edge of the zip. So I've got front of the fabric, front of the zip, front of the fabric facing in, and attaching it right to this edge up the top here. Put some pegs. And I'm going to sew down and attach it here. My zip end is down here, so when I get close to the end, I'm going to need to move my zip again. So forwards, reverse, as I get close to the zip, I stop, and I just have to reach in between the two layers here and unzip that. Back around and make sure that that's lined up again, and just finish sewing that on the top there, and back stitch, needle up and cut it. Now my zip is in the center, and I have a piece of the front of my fabric on each side. Now again, I need to top stitch down and attach this side here. A bit hard to put a peg on it this time, so I'm just going to hold it in place and just go really nice and slow and make sure that I keep a neat straight line here. As I get close to this large zipper again, needle down, foot up, and pull that zipper back. Now I just make sure this is still all lined up nicely. Needle down. We back stitch at the end, cut, and got it. So now I have my zip attached on each side of the fabric and down here. And I'm going to fold my two pieces of bag so that they are good sides facing in together. So you can see the inside of my zip here. Line up all my corners and put some pegs on. So line these edges up here. Pegs. Now I'm going to sew, just like you did on your tote bag, a straight line from here to here, and each little side piece like this. So I'm leaving all the corners open. So go forwards, reverse, and just sew a nice straight line there. Stitch at the end. So that was a straight line down here. Now I'm going to do the bottom. And the other straight line here. Right. Now I have all of these straight lines on each edge sealed shut, and now my last step is to box the corners. So I'm going to see my zip is at the end here. I'm going to push that in and zip it slightly. Because this is the same as your bag. You separate the two layers and pinch the bags, or the pencil case, sorry, so that each of the seams match up. Each of the seams match up, and then place a peg, and you're going to sew straight across here. You're going to do that at all four corners. So let's peg them all now. Separate the two layers, find the two seams and match them up, and peg. Now a little bit different when you've got your zip, you need to watch for metal fastenings, because if your needle hits that, it's not going to like it. So make sure you have to place a peg where that metal fastening is, and you must sew down here below that piece of metal we just saw. And then the last one is your end of your zipper that's slightly open, so just pinch those together and put a peg to hold it in place. Okay, now I'm going to sew 1, 2, 3, 4 of those corners closed. I'm going to make sure I backstitch at the start and end of every corner. When you have, just move on to the next one, all four corners. That's two more. Now that I've sewn all four corners, I'm just going to trim off any extra and any extra bits of zipper like that. Trim off any loose threads. Now if I undo my zip the whole way back, I can flip. And there you have a nice boxed pencil case. Done.